guys? The Super Review Show for this episode of Trekkies, our only Star Trek show on YouTube. Whoa. I'm all by myself today, apparently, because I couldn't find anyone that wanted to talk Star Trek with me, but okay, that's fine with me. Just so you know, we have a great bunch of topics today from the Star Trek movies, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, we have everything. We're going to talk about. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the movies, mainly Star Trek Beyond, and also what's going on in the world of Star Trek canon, not to be confused with Star Wars canon. Here we go. So Star Trek Beyond. Simon Pegg recently came out and said, look, Beyond was a blast. I cannot wait to do the next one. He said Beyond was fun, basically. I think that having Star Trek Beyond as another fun movie, just like Star Trek 2009, Star Trek Into Darkness, I think that'd be really, really, really awesome if they were to do that. Look, we all love Star Trek. I know some people hate it, but that's okay. Like what you want. But look, Star Trek Beyond, I can't wait for it. I'm very looking forward to it a lot, really. I cannot wait to see this movie. Having the cast they have moving forward with this franchise, the overall, total awesome success. Now let's get into some other things that are going on in the world of Star Trek, which is one of the things that I love personally, is the Star Trek comic books. That's right, comic books, folks. The new Star Trek comic books are coming out soon, and that is called Ongoing number 51. Star Trek, and it has to do with the mirror universe, which means that you have the regular Enterprise, and then you have an exact duplicate universe with but they're bad guys really, and it's the same crew, but they're all bad guys in the mirror universe. Good guy universe, bad guy universe, mirror universe. You get what I'm saying. I haven't yet to read this comic book series. You have to read this comic book yet, but I heard it's really good. It came out recently, actually. So it's not coming out. It came out. So I think that you get. I think if you're a Star Trek fan or if you want to get into the Star Trek comic books, this is the run for you. You will not regret reading these Star Trek comic books because they are so much fun. And I believe Roberto Orci is actually a producer on a bunch of them. So that's cool about that. Now the last thing I want to talk about today, for Trekkies, because there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to talk about today, so I figured why not talk about the Star Trek timeline. So here we go. We got a picture of, I found this graphic online of Star Trek timeline talk, and basically I'm gonna pull it up here. Here's what this timeline looks like. So here we have a cool interpretation of the entire Star Trek universe. Everything from Enterprise to Star Trek the original series to Star Trek The Next Generation to Star Trek Deep Space Nine to Star Trek Voyager. And also the Next Generation movies are in there too. And also just the time period and stuff. I want to talk about this really quickly for a little bit actually, and show how the rebooted movies split everything else. So as you can see, we have the Star Trek series 1, 2, and 3, and then we have all the movies there too. That take place in that era. And we also have what do you call it? Back if you look at the right before 2265, that's where the Star Trek timeline split, if you will, and it created this alternate timeline, and that's what the current movies have been focusing on, is this alternate timeline, where all we have is Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto as Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk, and they're going on their daily mission to explore new worlds and explore the galaxy. I think that originally when this concept came about, this was a really good move for Star Trek, for not just for the brand, but for the franchise as a whole. Because look, you could not go on after the mediocre success of Star Trek Enterprise. You had to reboot the thing and make it more mainstream than it already was. JJ did that with Star Trek 2009. He did it with Star Trek Into Darkness, and now Justin Lin is capitalizing on that and doing Star Trek Beyond. So I'm really thrilled about that, first and foremost. Second thing, the second thing I want to talk about is that look how cool this graphic is in general. Whoever put this thing together was really cool. Because it was really cool how they put this entire thing together, and they figured out how to make this entire timeline fit and work together. Now, mind you, this is the old timeline. The new timeline is different, but right where you have the Star Trek, the timeline where it says 2265, that's where it broke off to get the new franchise. And then we're relaunching this franchise. So there you go. So that will do it for this episode of Trekkies. Look, if you love Star Trek, there's subscribe to the Super Review Show. You won't regret this decision so much. And if you have a question about Star Trek you want to get answered on air, feel free to email us at thesuperreviewshow@gmail.com. The link's in the description if I'm not mistaken. So, look, if you love Star Trek, subscribe to this channel, email us, like this video, share it with your friends. You'll have a blast watching future episodes of Trekkies, and also our Star Wars show, Rebel Alliance. And not only that, we do so much more in the Super Review Show. We talk about everything from Terminator, Star Wars, like anything in the geek culture. We talk about it. So I think you would really get a kick out of it. So for this episode of Trekkies, episode 3, my name is JT Money, and until next time, see you later.